What is good, guys? Here we are coming at you guys here with a post commentary duel video, kind of testing John from Just Nuts Production on top playing Beetroopers and me playing Sunavalon, or what I'd like to call Plant Link, down below. And I'm getting ready to have a very strong start out here with Unexpected Die, not having to use my normal summon. So anyway, guys, for those who don't know, we have a big box tournament coming up this weekend. So this was just testing for that because I think I'm going to take Plant Link. And me and John, we played a big game before this. And man, it was a solid game. John's onto a lot of hand traps and some very interesting hand traps. If you guys don't know the Beetrooper strategy, they play Contacting C or Retaliating C. I forget which one it is. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and make Drias and resolve Sowing. Sowing is a remarkable card and what really puts this deck into like the rogue tier status, I believe. Go ahead and make in Jasmine, using Jasmine's effect to tribute the twin to go ahead and grab this Mardell from the deck. Now it's kind of crazy because like you can do so many different lines of play. If you just reverse your sequencing here, if you go like Laurel, then link into Jasmine, and then Laurel, which triggers both Jasmines and stuff like that. So I special out the Laurel, added off the Mardell to make Jasmine, trigger both Jasmines to add, I think, a Snowdrop here, and a, what is it, Cactus Bouncer, yeah. So I add Snowdrop and Cactus Bouncer. Also, if you guys actually are enjoying those sleeves you guys see here, they're actually by Imperium Duelist, Pegasus sleeves, check them out. Because I just walked right into a rock here. So my man John shows me the rock. Put my token down here. And I fire off the Shrine. Because you always preemptively like use Shrine. So like you already meet its activation requirement. So I go Shrine into Genius. Genius into Drias. Drias into another Shrine. Activating another Shrine that I just added off of the Drias. To be able to go a little bit higher. Or like play through this nib, for instance. So I use the Shrine to bring back the Loki. Then I use the Teardrop to special summon herself and the Mudan that I hard opened here. I did grab Rika Sheet. Here I kind of make a little bit of a mixed play. I try to go into another Link 2, but I actually used all my Link 2s. However, I get to use a very cool effect of the Twin that's in the graveyard. Both Twin and Sunseed Shadow have pretty cool graveyard effects that you don't get to utilize too often here. But this actually does come up, and this is actually pretty crazy, like being able to like learn these combo sequences. So I'm still going to be able to combo off this way and get into our Melis. Melis is going to be able to bring out another Genius from the graveyard, and then we just make ourselves Begalancer the Resurgent. This card is crazy. This card checks DP, and then we're going to normal summon Cactus Bouncer. Cactus Bouncer was put in here kind of like as a joke to start out with, but then I was like, wow, this card's actually pretty insane. A searchable Floodgate. Yeah, let's do that. However, before we go into his turn, I'm going to fire off and use Begalancer to bounce the Nib, because I don't need the Nib to be applying pressure, because Nib is 3,000, and everything on my field is less than 3,000. But he's going to normal summon Sting the Poison. Sting is a very problematic card because it is a walking imperm. And I also know that a lot of the Beetrooper strategies are off that one card, not pin the bullseye. It's the one Arbalest or something. No, it's not Arbalest. It's the other Beetrooper that just special summons itself for free. So I know a lot of Beetroopers are off that now, and even my man Johnny had told me like he was off it. But he's gonna Chalice the Cactus Bouncer to go ahead and fire off DPE. And for those who don't know, DPE is a very problematic card. I'm surprised, like you have to know about it, right? Like the recursion, the ability, like it does. It's just crazy. However, Begalancer is a very good check to the DP, because once the DP tries to destroy something, the Begalancer can chain and bounce it. Same with like the Rika Queen Teardrop. She's a quick effect tribute. So both Begalancer and Teardrop, they both really check the DPE package. So like if we, like this deck has a really good matchup against DPE-esque strategies because we're not negating, we're not destroying, we're bouncing and removing. And we just checked the Judge's Lounge prior to this to be able to like check and see, like I had to make sure that my suspicion was right. It's if you do not do A, you cannot do B. So if he cannot destroy a card on his side of the field, he cannot destroy a card on my side of the field. So in these game states where it's just DPE, and you just can get rid of the DP, he can't destroy a card on your field. But he goes ahead and I think he fires off, he battles, no, he doesn't fire off. He battles over the Cactus Bouncer, which is extremely smart. Just go ahead and get that Floodgate, because as soon as his turn's over, it's applied again. However, I do have Rika's Sheet set, and Rika's Sheet, I've been kind of like bouncing between the idea of cutting the Rika package here and going to like a more Arrow Mage package. Because you can guys see he's going to fire off the DPE and pop the Sheet. Which, to my surprise, he goes after the Sheet. I'm surprised he didn't try to get rid of, like, the Snowdrop or the token that he has. Like, the token's pretty beefy, too. It's, like, 36 attack. So, he goes ahead and fires off. I let him hit the Sheet. Now, like I said, the Sheet is, like, I might go, like, more to the Arrow Mage package because, like, you lose the Teardrop, right? You use this Queen Snowdrop or Teardrop. I think it's Teardrop. You lose her, but you gain, like, the Arrow Mage Synchro, which is, like, a quick effect pop. or not really a quick effect pop. It's like when you gain life point, you get to pop cards, right? As you guys can see here, I do use Shrine to bring out, use Snowdrop to target herself, make them all level 8s. Go ahead and make the Teardrop here. Or yeah, Teardrop here. Now DP is back, and here I make a fatal misplay. Right here, Teardrop and Begalancer does have the ability to check this DP. Like, it's all the thing he has left. I just need, in the main phase, all I gotta do is go Begalancer, bounce, he goes DP effect, and I go chain Teardrop, tributing it, getting it out of cycle, and then the game's in the bag. However, I make a horrible misplay, and I enter the battle phase, and he just lets me battle right over it, declaring the effective DP. So, like, it's gonna come back, and now I have to, like, fight whatever he has in his hand, plus this DP returning. So it's a huge misplay on my part, and the fact that I'm able to, as you guys will see, as I'm able to pull through with it is remarkable in itself. So I go ahead and use my second Shrine to bring back the tree to link into Drius. So now if I fire off Begalancer, my thought process with this, I totally didn't read Drius all the way. My thought process was if I fire off Begalancer to bounce a card, I won't be burned, excuse me. However, he frame 1 drops infinite impermanence, and I think he goes for the Begalancer. Or he went for the Teardrop. I cannot remember. Regardless of which one he goes for, they're both pretty bad here. However, he goes in normal summons that Sting the Poison. I bounce back. Sting is a very problematic card because as soon as he gets another insect out there, Sting is a walking infinite impermanence himself. So I gotta like solve the Sting. And I know like pin the bullseye and stuff like that require there to be another insect out there. So responding with Teardrop to tribute, it's decent. However, getting rid of the Begalancer was smart because that like gives him an insect in the graveyard to fire off some like other insect extenders he could have. Like I know the Beetrooper extender that like banishes 1 to special summon itself and stuff like that. So good play on John's part here. But anyway, we're just sitting here, and this deck is really crazy, guys. Like I'm not gonna lie, the Beetrooper, like as much as I hate that Beetroopers have gone towards the DP strategy. Like the deck before that still, and even now the deck is still crazy. It just like won or like got like 2 places in the top 32 of the YCS, remote YCS. He's going into battle, I believe, and I think he's going to battle over Begalancer, so I decided to protect with the Sowing. And as you guys can see here, I'm reading Drius just to make sure, because even though if I protect with if I had an extra zone open, if I took the damage and protected with Sowing, Drius would trigger, but since I don't have an open zone to summon, Drius does not trigger here. So, just watching here, this it's not too shabby. It's kind of crazy how that was enough. So he's going to go ahead and fire off DP. And sadly, I have no response to that. He goes ahead and destroys and gets rid of the Rika Queen. So straight up in my mind, I'm like, I need to draw a Pot of Avarice to be able to put back this Queen to hopefully be able to get it back on the field. And you guys will see here, the heart of the cards really shine in my favor here. But yeah, these decks are just crazy. Like, Plan Link is so slept on, guys. Like, for you guys out there who have not checked in, like, this deck has so much depth and so many lines of play. You guys just, like, really, you guys have to. As you guys see here, activate Pot of Avarice, top deck right off the top, to go ahead and shuffle and get 2 fresh cards. However, my 2 fresh cards end up not being the best. This is like the second match, so I got like the match 1, 2. We ended up having some slight misplays because we both were like, you know, all game 1s are going to be, or all match 1s are going to be kind of rough, you know, because like you both, like I haven't played for a hot minute, he hasn't played for a hot minute, so I was just sitting down, starting to like relearn everything. So that was just a learning experience. However, we both had some really good game 1s, and to come to find out, like this, like the Sunavalon or the Sunavalon itself, like this deck is crazy. Like it does not require its normal summon. So like if you have so many cards that like allow you to play without your normal. And here I was just kind of overthinking. I literally just go battle phase, and he just is forced to pop the token. Like he was at 1900 life. It was just, all right, guys. Quick announcement: if you guys want to help support the channel, you can do so by using the TCG Player affiliate link down below. Using that link will give a little bit of kickback to the channel, costing you nothing extra while helping to support the Crusade, am I right? And then if you guys also want to help support the channel, check out the Imperium Duelist link down below. Using the code TEAMCOG10 will give you 10% off your orders at checkout, and I'm a huge supporter of their products, from their deck boxes to their dice to their sleeves to their mats to everything. I've just been a huge advocate for their products for quite some time. Finally, if you guys want to support the channel, you can do so by becoming a member. Get access to member-only perks and rewards. Every live stream that we do gets uploaded for members only after the live stream is over with, and you get access to custom emotes and just, you know, become part of a wholesome family. But anyway, guys, back to the video. An easy smack through here. However, we're going to move into that game 2 scenario here. He's opting to go first using Sting the Poison, but he's going to chain block Sting the Poison with Scale Bomber. And now we just kind of are forced to sit here and just kind of watch him to go. However, I did side in this side up. I did side in Kaijus because, like, Nibiru, believe it or not, actually conflicts with the strategy of, like, Unexpected Die, Rose Cloister, and stuff like that. So I wanted to have the ability to not lock myself out of like my very powerful cards. So like I side in Kaijus instead of the Nibiru's, because like a Kaiju, I can just smack down a Kaiju and then activate Unexpected Die, and we're off to the races. He's going to normal summon Arbalest, bring back the Scale Bomber, I believe. He goes in Armor Horn, gets the additional normal summon. He's going to link 2 into Pico Felina. Pico Felina is going to allow him to shuffle back, get immediate access to that Resident Insects. There we go. He's going to immediate access to the Resident Insects, and then is going to be able to shuffle back 3 to get some added consistency. But now, see, if this was my Beetrooper list, I'd be making Atlas right here and just kind of going to town here and going like the Beetrooper lines. However, this is totally different. We're going to see a making of Papillion here to give itself counters. He's able to chain block certain cards because Papillion activates on summon and stuff like that. So he's going to grab Sting Lancer, which is a very problematic card in this matchup too, simply because of this, you know, like Sting Lancer being able to like remove the Loki from your graveyard is huge. It's very huge. The only like card that kind of gives us a fair off standing against the Sting Lancer is Painful Decision, because we get to dump and add. So we get like 2 Genius Loki in circulation, and a lot of the Sunavalon cards, they don't target, they just, you know, say if a Genius Loki's in your graveyard. So like as long as you like, if you don't have to target, that's what I'm saying. So like if you have 2 Genius Loki there, remove 1, you can still resolve the effects because you have another one. We're going to see Armor Horn come back, and he's going to get that Retaliating C. That's the C I think it is. And guys, if Maxi ever came back, this deck would be crazy, because it would be able to search Maxi. That is completely bonkers to be able to search Maxi. But Retaliating C, if it is that, or Contact C, whichever one it is, because I can't remember which one it is, this card is crazy because it just says whenever your opponent activates a spell card that would like summon a monster, it summons itself, then it's a Macrocosmos. So that is really hard for us to deal with here. But he's going to go up into Atlas. He's going to beam out Sting Lancer here. And Sting Lancer is going to grab him deployment, I think it is. It's the one that gives you a token, and then like you can destroy a set. So he gets a token. He's going to go ahead and link into Link Spider. And then our favorite play that all of us are kind of like shocked that is even still around, Verte, the darn snake. Pay 2,000 for Verte, send Destiny Fusion, and then there we go. The follow-up that Celestial gives to decks is insane too. And like the Skater Boy, I don't even know what his name is because I don't really pay much attention. I am more concerned with outing this DP than I am with like what Celestial and whatever he sends. So Skater Boy in there that lets you special summon a card from the hand is just as insane as well. So we end on practically a 1-set card. So I frame run, give him that Kaiju, and I think I fire off here the Rose Princess, pitching it to grab Rose Cloister. However, as soon as I grab the Rose Cloister, he kind of gives me a little bit of some table talk, and I was like, uh-oh. He has that. I totally forgot he searched the Contact C. So I can't really activate Cloister because it just triggers that C right away. So I go ahead and I sit here and I'm like, dang, that was can't believe I forgot about that. So guys, always try to remember what cards are added to your opponent's hand and what is in circulation, so you don't make detrimental misplays like this. Even though I don't make the misplay, but like, you know, I almost did. And if I would have done that, it would have put me in definitely in a losing scenario. Whereas like currently right now, the path that I choose by normal summoning the Loki gives me a better chance than what I would have if I went ahead and activated Rose Cloister. We go into Dreas. Dreas grabs us Sowing. Sowing, guys, my gosh, like if you guys ever read Sowing, do you guys remember when World Chalice came out and the World Legacy World Chalice was, you guys read that card and you're like, this card's insane. It summons 2 and then it tributes itself to Send and then it banishes and searches. This card's insane. Sunvine Sowing, same thing, guys. Sunvine Sowing is completely insane. I like this card that special summons 1, so it's a combo starter, superior extender, and protection. Card's nuts. So we're going to go ahead and summon out the twin here. And we're going to go Chainlink 2, Dreas, Chainlink 1, Twin. And then here comes the C. Darn. So now everything that leaves is banished. So now I got to like, it kind of forces me to waste my battle phase here, which I'm not super excited about. But I don't want to lose the Loki because it's the only access I have to a Loki is the one that I have in my hand. So like, I go ahead and go Jasmine, then I enter battle, smack over the C, and then the C, not only is it going to be able to like do all this type of stuff, it is going to 100% get him a search too for Resident Insect. That's like, this card is crazy. But I do see like the theory behind playing like a more simplified list instead of going wombo combo with like the Beetrooper stuff. You just make it simplified, pretty much 2 insects, make Verte, go that route. Maybe if you open pretty good. He actually grabs the Goki Pole here, and then I attempt to fire off Jasmine. He goes Chalice. And it's pretty rough, actually, not going to lie. So that stops like my plays in a sense. However, I'm still going to be able to solve the board pretty much. Tribute the board to summon out Sunvine Shadow from my hand with the Teardrop. I end up going up here into Melis. Melis to reborn out the... I think I go Melisborn. Yeah, Melisborn's out the Genius Loki, but here we're going to see Sting Lancer. Remove that Loki, and see, I think that's one of the cards I remember playing because that's the route I wanted to go. No matter what, I had to go this route. I had to go ahead and get the extra bodies out there because Teardrop gets 2 bodies where I only had 1. So here I end up just going right into Begalancer the Resurgent because this card is phenomenal. So I go Begalancer to bounce the Kaiju just to give him back to him. So I bounce the Kaiju to my hand, take 27, I Kaiju another one of his monsters. However, like, you know, that I don't know if that was the correct play. I did have to bounce the Kaiju, giving it back to him though. At least this turn now, like if I'm able to bounce that Kaiju back to my hand, he knows I have a Kaiju. I just shown him the Cloyster. I'm like, you know I have Cloyster. So he's going to go ahead and link 3 here, which is just kind of bad. So here I do have to kind of fire off Begalancer just to keep him off of this kind of, like, keep him off of killing me. However, I don't think that's very possible. So he goes ahead and I think he discards, and then I just chain Begalancer. So we do a fair trade there, but Sting Lancer's there, and I don't think he's normal summoned yet. So he's just going to be able to, like, normal summon out the Goki Pole, which, well, no, he pitched the Goki Pole. Goki Pole triggers. He gets the roller or something like that, the Beetrooper roller. And it's just kind of going downhill from here. So I just go ahead and scoop it up and go ahead and we go into that very important Game 3. So this Game 3 is going to be very interesting. And you guys are going to see a very interesting side deck card that I'm still kind of up in the air about. I think it's very powerful. And then you guys got to tell me, if I were to sequence this differently, would I have won? So you guys in the comment section, let me know. But my hand's very weak, actually. So I have to start out with Sowing as being the weak starter in my hand. Link into Dreas. Dreas, go ahead and get me that all-important shrine, you know, so we can start praying to the Lorax. And I think my hand has like 2 traps or something like that. And Pot of Avarice. So like, Pot of Avarice, definitely necessary in the deck. You guys have to play 2 to 3 copies of this card for sure because you just have to. So I go ahead and I normal summon out the Rose Princess. I go and activate Shrine here because I almost didn't do it. Pinching another Shrine was just, you know, had to do it. Use Shrine to reborn back the Genius because he's a smart guy. Jasmine, tribute that to summon out. I think we go Mardell. So I have to be very careful because since my life points are not higher, I cannot add Laurel. So if I add Laurel, it ain't going to be good. So I go ahead and add a Madon here because, okay, so if I get Madon, I can tribute. I still have Begalancer access here. And I know I have 2 trap cards, or I have 1 trap card in my hand. So I go Begalancer, I go, oh, and right here, we just are showing that a darn Kaiju stuck in my extra deck. So he was like, just go ahead and put it back. No worries about that. You know, sometimes mistakes happen. This ain't like we're testing, so it's okay. But anyway, I go Madon to get that Rika Sheet, link into Melis, summon Genius, and then I go to Begalancer here. So now I have Rika Sheet, I think a Solemn Judgment, or Rika Sheet and Polynus, which is a counter trap for plant monsters that negate summons. So here I have technically 2 traps, and I believe I fire off Pot of Avarice. I think that, yeah, so there we go. Pot of Avarice touches down. I end up shuffling back 5, and I think I end up having to shuffle back the... I shuffle back the Loki. And the only reason I do that, I give up my follow-up so that, like, my Begalancer can have a follow-up too. So now I have the material. If Begalancer leaves, I can bring him back. I draw 2, and I draw into, like, I draw into Solemn Judgment. So I set Solemn Judgment, Polynus, and the Rika Sheet. So you guys will have to tell me here. So we frame 1 Chalices, the Begalancer. I mean, that's got to be what it's got to be, right? So now he goes Resin Insects. So I believe I negate the summon here of Resin Insects. And I believe what I should have done is I should have Rika Sheeted it. I'm not going to lie. So I go Polynus, negate the summon, tribute my Begalancer. He goes Monster Reborn, so I'm forced to respond with Judgment here. And then he's going to go ahead, and all I have left is Rika Sheet. So Rika Sheet now is dead. So if I would have played that differently and sequenced it differently, I would think I would still have a Judgment ready to answer this Destiny Fusion. However, I'm not too sure. I've been sitting here, I've been rewatching this, editing this, and I've been like, dang, if I would have just sequenced that differently, if I would have Rika Sheet stole the Resident Insects, would he have fired off Monster Reborn? Would he have fired something different? So I'm just kind of like this, and this is also where a good thing to like capitalize on here is how strong the DPE really is. In this simplified game state, DPE is going to kind of wreck me here. And it's just kind of like, you know, thinking back, like I said, I'm thinking back, if I would have sequenced it differently, how would that have gone, you know? But I'm cut in half in life. I'm at 3,500, I believe, and his DPE is like 25, and then like he just literally needs to put on another monster. So he goes, he whacks me, pops my set sheet, brings back DP. He's contemplating on how to do it. So he goes attack mode, which is very smart. It's very smart to go into attack because if he went to defense, Begalancer could come back and Begalancer could be bigger than it. However, I just hard draw, unexpected die, fire off die. And for a second, I think I'm back in the race here. But I go ahead and make a Drius. Drius to add me, I think I go sowing. Yeah, I just go for sowing. But he chalices the Drius, and that is rough, chalicing the Drius here. But I do still have the Shrine, so I go ahead and activate Shrine, summon out my Loki. And then I just go ahead and we just try to do it again. Looking at what I have, since I had a Pot of Avarice, I was able to shuffle back my Jasmines, which is like, that's why Pot of Avarice is so important in these grind games, man. Is Pot of Avarice is just going to allow us to keep the grind going. Just go ahead and make a healer to gain some additional life here, because, you know, we're pretty low. Judgments do kind of burn a lot, so this healer is just going to be able to replenish me just a little bit. And I'm contemplating on the line of play that I have to go through here. So I do have Teardrop, but I can't use that Teardrop in my hand. Or that Snowdrop, excuse me. I have Snowdrop, but I cannot use her because I don't have another plant in my hand. That's the one bad thing about Snowdrop, is she has to have another plant. So I'm forced to go summon out Begalancer here. And I can't attack over the DP, so I hate to say it, I'm forced to try, I have to get rid of Begalancer. In order to continue on and attempt to, like, proceed, I go Jasmine effect, tribute Begalancer, summon out Mardell. Mardell is going to get me a search and going to get me that plant to my hand. And here's kind of a misplay here that I do too, because I believe I go for Lone Fire. And I have not normal summoned yet this turn. I do want that to be kind of clear here. And I think this is where my sequencing also mess up. So it gets a little wonky too. I tribute the wrong card. So I grab Lone Fire. And you guys will see here what I do wrong. And it's just kind of, it's so crazy watching back. So I go Snowdrop, tribute Mardell. Should not have done that. Should have tributed the Jasmine. And summon out Lone Fire. He's going to go DPE, pop the Lone Fire. Right, he could DPE, pop Lone Fire. Now I have no play because my Melisses are exhausted. Or even, now my Melisses aren't exhausted, but my ability to go into something else is different. If I would have just popped the Jasmine, if you would have popped the Lone Fire, I could have easily still made Teardrop and put pressure on and still could have probably been in this game. But yeah, guys, that's about it. We're wrapping it up here. I'm just showing the guy, like, the plays that I could have gone through and, like, why that would have been different. But please remember, guys, for all you out there, thank you so much for supporting. And you guys, stay safe, stay healthy. This is Charles from Team COG, signing out.